Hey guys, welcome back to the Diet Doc Life Mastery Podcast. I'm Joe Klemczewski, founder of the Diet Doc, here with Kori Propst, our health psychologist. And Dr. Propst is going to help us today with convenience-based decision-making, steps we can take to make our daily food, diet, nutrition needs just that much easier, even probably bleeding into our fitness lives, workouts, all of that kind of thing. So, Kori, we started this yesterday with the big picture view. Looking at exactly why convenience matters to us biologically, psychologically. Today, as promised, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, kind of those daily acute habits or just actions, behaviors we need to make this easy. And we all have our lists. I mean, I've immediately got mine. I'm going to let you go first because yours are probably way better than mine.
I don't know about that, but
I am an expert at being a lazy guy in the kitchen. So when it comes to ease of use, I'm gonna hit that one out of the park. But go ahead, if you don't mind, and talk about things that you do and things that you've seen your clients do that maybe surprise you, things you've even taken from them, and how do we make all this easy?
So I really appreciate that when you introed this podcast, you used the phrase decision making, because I coined this little term early on, which was ditch deliberation. Because if we're spending a lot of time trying to make decisions, we're wasting a lot of energy and our motivation is going to go right down the toilet. So one of the first things that I have on my list as I was thinking about for myself, what do I do? And how do I help my clients in terms of making choices easier and more convenient? It's reduce your choices. It's the same reason that our friend at Facebook has one style of shirt and color that he wears, right? He doesn't have to make
I stole that from him. That's why I got like a dozen of these. That's all I wear now.
So
brilliant.
There's an aspect of minimalism that I have really latched onto and consider to be one of the key factors for myself, because I can easily get bogged down in decisions, and because there's a lot of things that are really important to me. So on a very practical note, outside of nutrition, like my relationship with my partner is really important to me, and there are certain things about how I want to be with him and around him. And I have that posted on the fridge so I don't forget. Because when
be nice to Ben, that's a checkbox on the fridge.
Be nice to Ben. Kiss him when he comes home from work. Those things are pretty convenient. It's like I said, if I have a lot of responsibilities, things on my to-do list, things that need to get done, some things they're the meatballs that fall off the table that aren't necessarily as convenient, but are hugely important that I need to remember. I don't like to cook with recipes because I get bogged down in that again, because a lot of the recipes that look good initially to me have far too many ingredients. And I'm thinking, I'm never going to use that again. That's going to maybe be used once every couple months. That's not cool with me, because then it's in the cupboards and it's getting in my way, right? It clutters my kitchen, but then it clutters my mind. But on that note, I have a lot of clients who prefer to eat the same thing every day and then maybe change one thing the next week. So, instead of this protein, and let's say it's a sandwich for lunch, it's going to be roast beef this week, and then it's going to be turkey the next week. And I really operate the same way, but that's really individual. I've had this conversation with my mom before. My sister is very much like me. We pretty much eat the same thing every day. The good thing is that we eat so many, we're very plant-based and we eat a lot of different vegetables. I think the the downside of that can be we're not getting inappropriate nutrients for the people who don't have a lot of variety day to day, but are consistent with that. My mom is very much like, I don't want to eat that way ever.
So how do you make that easy? If you're eating a lot of vegetables, what are you doing to make that more convenient for yourself?
Yeah, so let's use this week as an example. I was gone all weekend. Typically, I'll spend some time Saturday or Sunday preparing food for the week, but I didn't get to do that this weekend. So I am very fortunate, and it is very convenient for me that I get to work from home because while I'm working, something can be roasting in the oven. So that is exactly what I did. Like, I had quinoa cooking on the stove. I had eggplant, carrots, Brussels sprouts, and peppers roasting in the oven. Once those came out, then I threw in 2 more pans of different vegetables. It takes chopping, but then the majority of the time, those veggies are spent in the oven. So, I had a video call with one of my clients just yesterday. And I bring my computer over to my fridge and I was like, let me show you what I did. And I showed her all the different Tupperware containers with the eggplant, with the roasted carrots, with the quinoa, with the garbanzo beans marinating, all of those different types of foods. So that's what I do. And I think, a lot of my clients do that too. They just know that in order for the week to go the way they want it to, and to consume the foods that they're going to feel the best eating, and to have those readily available, there is a little bit of time and effort and energy spent on the front end to get those foods ready.
So let me jump over to our Diet Doc stable of thoroughbred program owners.
Yeah,
because I think almost everybody, if we talk about this subject, bring it up, they're going to instantly go to bulk cooking, meal prep, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to give them a chance to shout out some of their very specific things. So Ben Rira, the Diet Doc owner in Pensacola, Florida, says having multiple tools. He said an air fryer, an Instapot, and so you can cook those things faster because not everybody is at home where they can do that during the day. Right. Even things like ice tray parfait, having those things where you make like the smoothie and put them, freeze them in the blender. Mm-hmm. Picking 2 items that could be cooked in bulk. So, bulk cooking that chicken on the weekend, and then you can use it for all kinds of different recipes through the week.
Yep.
Let's go to Brianna Mosier, who is our Diet Doc owner in Bangor, Maine. Slow cooker. That's how we survive now that my wife is working full-time as well. We would starve to death if we didn't have that stuff waiting for us when we get home.
Yeah.
Brianna also talks about just bulk cooking, baking a bunch of potatoes, having those ready to go, slicing up fruits and veggies. Mm-hmm. Greg Bunton, Diet Doc program owner in St. Louis. Same thing. Sunday is bulk cooking day. Mm-hmm. He makes 10 chicken breasts, 2 pounds of lean ground beef or turkey, or both, 5 cups of rice, 5 cups of pasta. He just gets all that stuff. This was my life when I was in college.
Yeah.
So, I've got a couple of my own that I would say if people have not taken advantage of this technology or culture change, it was a game changer for us. And that is simply curbside pickup for groceries.
Yeah.
Instead of spending an hour shopping, we just pull up, get our groceries and go home. That's an hour saved. I think that was like 2 entire days a year I just saved by doing that. But you know what it saves? It saves me from grabbing this, spending money on that.
Totally.
Let me get one of those.
Yeah, that impulse shopping.
When you just have your list and those things are saved in your cart every week, you're getting the things that are just essential. And like you said to start, Kori, it just becomes thoughtless.
Right.
There are also meal prep companies, and I've seen some of my friends use these for travel. Mm-hmm. So, if you really want the service of having a couple dozen meals delivered to you every week or a couple times a week, I mean, I've traveled to Airbnbs in different cities with my friends, and all of a sudden they've got this great big delivery of food, and here I'm stuck eating granola bars, and they're having these amazing meals in the fridge.
Yeah.
So tons of things like that can be very helpful. But I didn't want to interrupt you completely there, Kori. I just wanted to make sure that we got those input points in from our program owners.
No, I think those are excellent. Let me list just a few things that I do outside of food and nutrition, Joe. But here's why they're important. Because I have made these things incredibly convenient, I can spend more time on the areas that are priorities for me. Mm-hmm. So TSA Pre-check, freaking amazing. Why? Because I'm the person who isn't just going to take a granola bar onto the plane. I'm going to make a big salad and put it in a Ziploc bag and take it onto the plane with me. I'm going to do that at home. Well, guess what? If it takes me less time to get through security, I have more time to prepare my meals to take while I'm traveling. Right?
Tell me you put like hot steaming fish in there too to open up on the plane.
Well, I'm not eating animals right now, Joseph. No.
Try that. Okay.
However, I love those tuna packets.
They're awful.
Oddly enough, like I would have that like, oh God, do I do it? Or opening the Tupperware that has broccoli in it. Like, do I do it? Do I really hurt people this way?
You are automatically the most hated person on the plane.
Right? No one, I actually, the last time I did it with tuna packets, no one looked at me. I couldn't smell it. I'm like, are they using some sort of new preservative in this now? Anyway, so in college, I had enough underwear and enough socks to get me through an entire 2 weeks. Why? Because it was super inconvenient to walk all the way down to the basement to do the laundry.
Do you know the producer of our podcast, Steve Stewart, has 6 weeks worth of socks and underwear for that exact reason, because he does not want to have to go do laundry that often. That's taking it to a next level. 6 weeks, man. Must have an entire dresser of, it just looks like Macy's in his bedroom with socks and underwear.
And see, hopefully all the underwear are the same and all the socks are the same, because if they aren't, I would be like, well, which ones do I freaking wear today? Again, too many decisions. Auto pay for our bills. What an amazing thing. Investing your money, your retirement, like it coming automatically out of your account every month and you don't even need to think about it. I have a cat, not a dog. Jackson. He's just this amazing, I was going to say small, he's not small, but he barely takes any work. And I don't have to find a kennel for him or hire someone to take care of him when I leave. He knows how to poop in a box.
That's important. One of our cats does not, so she stays outside.
That's a problem.
That's an important skill to have in life.
Right? I remember that a few years ago, I auditioned for the San Diego Women's Chorus, and I was accepted. And it became so inconvenient that I stopped going because it was such a far drive. And it was from like 6 to 9 at night. And I'm in bed at like 8:30. So I'm like, oh God, when is this going to end? It wasn't enjoyable for me. So here's one thing that I would say might help people to kind of get a sense for where they might start making changes. What's inconvenient? Ask that question. And then you're in a position to start shifting things around.
So ironically, that's what we're going to cover in the next podcast, which is we know that there are some things that just are not going to be convenient. And you're going to find out that the things you have to put effort into, probably the things that matter most to you, are the most rewarding. But as Kori has been saying, to get to those things in life that matter the most, we've got to make the rest of life easier and more convenient. So I teed up this podcast series, Kori, by saying, you know, we've got these hacks and these tangible things we're going to talk about to make your fitness and health and nutrition journey easier.
Yeah.
But there are some parts that are just never going to be easy.
Yeah. So Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
We're both very excited about this topic. I'm thinking about how for a lot of us, fitness isn't necessarily convenient. Putting on our clothes, our shoes, driving to the gym, even going down the stairs. And then it's the actual workout itself, right? Is it convenient for me to ride my bike for 4 hours? No, lots of other things are being put on the back burner when I do that on the weekends. And I have to put on a lot of clothes to do that. I have to make sure that my tires are filled up and all of this stuff. But how do I make it as convenient as possible in order to do that? Well, I know that I'm going to have to eat on the bike, so I make sure that I have my food strategically placed in the right pockets.
No, you keep $5 in a sleeve pocket so you can go through the drive-thru at McDonald's on your bike.
Or use that as a tire boot. I've had to do that with a $5 bill before because I got a hole in my tire. So, you prioritize based on what's most important to you. And
so let's save that for tomorrow, because we're gonna really talk about where you get the most value and where you want to spend your time and energy and maybe even money. So great topic, Kori. Thanks for contributing so much. And you guys at home watching, listening, thank you. We'd love your comments. When you see our posts about this, throw in some of the things that you do, and we'll read those on the air tomorrow as well. So thank you guys. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.